SuperTalk Mississippi media production. It's time to talk about dogs.
Bulldogs have won it.
Talkin Dawgs, that is, with Robbie Faulk, right here on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk is on your radio here on another Wednesday morning in Starkville, Mississippi, and in the Golden Triangle, or wherever you listen to this. Thank you for tuning in. Talkin Dawgs is brought to you every single week here on SuperTalk 100.9 in the Golden Triangle, but it's also brought to you on SuperTalk.fm, the SuperTalk app, and anywhere you get podcasts with Talkin Dawgs. This is Robbie Faulk, folks, from the On3 Maroon and White Daily website, from Starkville Daily News, and from the Thunder and Lightning podcasts. Proud to bring you another week of some Mississippi State sports talk and some high school football coming your way later in this show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to remind you also this show is going to re-air every single Wednesday, I believe from 1 to 2 p.m. You guys can pull this back up if you're in the Golden Triangle area and listen to this. But I want to remind you, too, to go check it out on your podcast app and subscribe to it. Give me a nice rating and be on your day. But otherwise, I appreciate you guys for being here for another day. It's another tough week for Mississippi State fans. Everybody was there in front of your TV set. Some of you were in Gainesville watching that ball game, Mississippi State versus Florida. I thought State was going to go into Gainesville and take that ball game. I really felt like everything was moving in that direction with all that was going on surrounding Billy Napier. So much noise throughout the week. The conversations were so loud that Billy Napier was not going to return as head coach for the next ball game. They were going to go into a bye week without Billy Napier leading the charge, and that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately for Mississippi State, he left the stadium to a chorus of boos, by the way, from Florida fans, with a win in tow. And to me, that was all on Mississippi State. I didn't think that Florida outplayed Mississippi State. I thought that State just kind of gave this one away. And I'm not saying that in sour grapes. I truly believe that the opportunities were there for the taking for Mississippi State, and they couldn't take this ball game from a team that's been very fractured this year. I mean, Florida is sitting here right now, and they're 3-4 on the season. They're probably not going to go to a bowl game this year. They're going to have a coaching change, and their fans are perfectly okay with that. Their fans are perfectly okay with them losing this game to Mississippi State if it meant Billy Napier was going to be fired. Luckily for them, they got to come away with a win because Mississippi State just did not do its job. The Bulldogs, as you know, I don't need to recap too much of it, but the Bulldogs get the football and drive down the field and are in field goal range in the final minute of this game, and Blake Shapen throws an interception. And it was it was just kind of a strange situation how it all played out there. The Bulldogs were moving the football fairly well, getting down the field, and looked like they were on the verge of scoring a touchdown or kicking a field goal at the very least. You look back at that possession, and in the final minute and a half when they got the ball, you get an 18-yard run by Blake Shapen. You get a couple of completions that get the ball down to the Florida 29-yard line with 29 seconds left, and Mississippi State calls a timeout, and they set up a play for Blake Shapen. He throws an interception. And so instead of attempting a field goal there, Mississippi State gives the ball back to Florida, and Florida wins the game 23-21. We're going to talk a little bit more about that game, how it transpired. We're going to get Jeff Lebby's thoughts on it. We talked to him yesterday at the press conference, and he gave his thoughts on this game and why that last possession wasn't the reason Mississippi State lost. He has a point, certainly has a point, although Mississippi State should have won that ball game on that final possession. What they did earlier in the game, or what they didn't do, was a big reason why they didn't win that ball game, and we'll talk about it when we come back. More Mississippi State football and high school sports coming your way here on Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here in SuperTalk 100.9. We'll be right back.
At Bank Oklahoma, we treat our customers like neighbors, and usually they are. You're more than just an account number. At Bank Oklahoma, you have a name, a family, and hopes and dreams for your financial future. I'm Hunter Robertson at Bank Oklahoma in Bruce. We'd love to earn your business and help you reach your financial goals. Come see me or call 662-983-3700. Bank Oklahoma, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
Power up your convenience with the 4County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Hello, I'm Lee Burrell, proudly serving Oktibbeha County. The Citizens Bank has been serving our community for over 116 years, and I'm proud to be part of this vital community bank. With over 22 years of financial experience in commercial, mortgage, and consumer lending, I'm here to help with all your loan and deposit needs. Call me at 662-323-1420 or stop by my office located at 201 Highway 12 and say hello. I'm looking forward to meeting and talking with you soon. The Citizens Bank, www.thecitizensvilla.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk is back here on SuperTalk 100.9 on this Wednesday morning. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you to Alpha Insurance, Jess Brantley, and his crew over there in West Point for sponsoring the show each and every week. Jess, a huge fan of local high school sports and supporter of the local high school sports here in the Golden Triangle area, and certainly in the West Point area as well. And he's a supporter of you also, the customer, those that are looking for a company out there that's going to take care of them when things go badly and things that you cannot predict. That's why you have insurance, because you're riding down a road and you're like my wife, and a cup falls to the ground, and for a split second, she's off the road and she nails a mailbox. That's why you have insurance, folks. You're like me. You hit a deer. That's going to happen at some point this year. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen to me this year. But the deer are out and about, and when you crush a deer on the highway, you're going to need Alpha Insurance to take care of you, to set you up with a rental car, to get you set into a body shop. And that insurance agency will certainly do all that and more. Life insurance, homeowners insurance, car insurance. Get the bundle over there at Alpha Insurance. Jess and his crew will take care of you over in West Point, 36 South 4th Street. But, hey, you can just call him today, 662-494-4142. He'll take care of you over the phone. Go check out Jess Brantley and Alpha Insurance and start saving today. So we talked to Jeff Lebby on Monday. I was very interested to hear his thoughts on the game, and I think that he has been a lot more candid this year than he has, recently, I guess, going back to last year. I thought he was a lot more diplomatic in some of the things that he said last year. This year, I don't want to say he gets fired up, because his expressions and his voice and everything, it doesn't really change as much, but you can tell when he's a little more animated. And I thought yesterday, Monday, or as we record, we're on Tuesday, behind the scenes, on Monday, I thought he was a little more animated than usual. And I think it really boiled down to the fact that his team just didn't execute. And some of that was on him. A lot of that was on him. I thought that final possession, there were some things that he could have done better. Now, he stands behind that interception, that play call on that last possession. But there's a lot of things that Mississippi State as a team just did not do to take care of business. I'm going to let him talk about it. We're going to go to Jeff Lebby now from his press conference talking about that Florida loss from Mississippi State.
Coach, another game that shows you guys are so close, just haven't quite gotten over that hump and into that losing streak. When you're looking back at the film and you're talking to your players and your coaches, what do you think this team and this program has to do to get over that hump and win those games?
Yeah, there's so many plays inside the game that create a different outcome. You know, I talked about it a little bit post-game, but one of the biggest frustrations that I had after the game was that we didn't take control of the game in the first 3 drives of the game. Like the 0 to negative plays when we have the opportunities to score on 1st and 10 in plus territory, or hand the ball off and gain 2 yards when it's blocked to score a touchdown, and then end up 3rd and 8 sack punt. Like that's the 2nd drive of the game. The 3rd drive of the game, you have the ability to go pick up 2 first downs. We're 1st and 10 at the plus 39-yard line, and we have some real issues that we've got to take out of our game, and we end up not converting on a 4th down. And we should have had a first down on 1st down, and should have dang sure had a first down on 2nd down. And, again, we don't execute. That's the first 3 drives of the game, to where right now, man, on the 3rd drive of the game, you're 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line, worst-case scenario. You have to be able to take advantage of those moments to take control of the football game. 4th drive, we end up going 3 and out. We're in a really good situation, positive plays, 1st and 2nd down. We go 3 and out on the 4th drive. 5th drive, we get a turnover. We go right down the field, and we're 2nd and 6, and we fumble the football. And then the next drive, we go right down the field. We're 1st and 10 to the 17. We end up 3rd and 16, and we miss a 41-yard field goal. That's the first half. All these opportunities, control of the first half of the game because of how we play defensively, and we don't do it. You know, the way the game ended is frustrating, to say the least. But there's so many moments to where, man, you take control and you never put yourself in that situation.
Kind of in that same vein, I mean, externally, a lot of blame is placed on Blake for that last play, but if you look at his game, he's had one of his more prolific performances this season. He was really efficient again. How have you guys kind of gone about evaluating that performance and reigniting the passing offense?
Yeah, he's frustrated. He's down because of the fact of the outcome wasn't what we wanted. There's a bunch of plays inside the game where he understands that if we do exactly what we need to go do, we take full control of the game. And so the ending of it is, again, it's got all the attention because of the outcome of the game. And he understands that. That's part of playing the position. It's part of being the head football coach. That comes with it. And there's great frustration. Man, we're trying to build on all the positives and how tough this guy's playing and how we were able to create explosives and pitch and catch and play in rhythm. But we got to finish drives. And we've got to score now. I've talked about that a ton. I talked to the defense about making the offense snap it again. We've got to score when we have the ability so we don't have to snap it again. And that's huge for us moving forward.
Coach, obviously this program had struggles last year and then this year, and being a lot more competitive, but struggling, like Robbie said, to get over that hump. You know, I've heard a lot of coaches say before that players have to learn how to win, and whether that's coaches making the right call or players stepping up at the right time to make the right play to change the game. How true do you think that is as far as players having to learn how to win?
Yeah, I mean, there's without a doubt something to that. I know for me and for us in this building, there's been zero talk of last year. That's not this year's football team. And then, like, you think about improvement, how much better, like the way we're playing the game right now, it's not even the same spectrum. So and that's the stress for our guys is there's a lot of noise from what I've been told and through text messages that I receive. They're, like, incredibly supportive. I'm like, Guys, we're 4-3. We're two plays away from being 6-1. We're not. Like, we've lost those games. We've been on the wrong side of them. I'm focused on this team. What's happened has happened. All right, but the guys sitting in this meeting room every single day, it's night and day. And there's been an unbelievable amount of improvement. And now we need to find a way to go win the game. And that's a very real thing. Finding ways to get better every week, that's what good football teams do. I do think that we've gotten better from week 1 to right now. We got a great football team coming in here Saturday. Man, all's going to get right in the world if we'll find a way to go be +1.
We saw Kamario play a little bit more Saturday, and when you look at what he can get done as far as the playbook, how much do you trust him as far as – we haven't seen him throw the ball a lot in meaningful reps, but how much do you kind of trust him with that outside of just running the ball?
I do trust him. I wanted him a couple of times to do that in that situation, on Saturday. And I think for him, he's because of being so young, right, and he knows what he can do with his legs, he wants to be able to go make the play with his feet right now. My effort is, man, you have the ability to have the right picture on the perimeter, trust yourself right now. All right, and that's going to help him and help us. And he knows that. He wants a couple of them back inside that series. That's the series I'm talking about. We're 1st and 10 at the plus 39-yard line. We go 4 downs, and it should never happen when you sit down and you watch the tape, but it did. So there's great learning moments in that for us. And again, that's the 3rd drive of the game that gives us the ability to have real control.
All right, that was Jeff Lebby. Interesting thoughts there. I thought some really good, candid conversation about the lack of work from his team getting the job done in that first half, especially in the first quarter. Mississippi State, in the first 3 possessions, they could have very easily scored 3 touchdowns. At the very least, they should have scored 2 and kicked a field goal and another one at least. And they just weren't able to get it done. They drove down the field and they got a touchdown on the first possession. The second possession, Blake Shapen had what looked like was going to be a touchdown from 41 yards out to Brennan Thompson, and he overthrew him. And they weren't able to get anything going there. They had to punt the football. The third possession, you had a chance again, and we're driving down the field. Kamario Taylor comes in. You get stuffed there, and you have 4th and 2 from the 31, and Blake Shapen runs straight ahead and gets nothing. You got nothing out of it. And that's the problem for Mississippi State is you have a chance there where you've only given up 3 points to Florida in that first quarter. You had 3 possessions to get points. They didn't take it. That's the exact same thing that happened in a similar way against Texas A&M. Drove down the field and had a chance to get points against Texas A&M, get a touchdown. They had to kick a field goal instead. The defense has done everything that it can for this Mississippi State team in these ball games, and the Bulldogs are just not – they're not taking it. So that's kind of the issue right now with this team is the defense is giving you more than you expected out of it this year, and State just cannot get the job done. So – unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they come up empty in this ball game. They're now 4-3, 0-3 in the league, and they have a huge game coming up this weekend against Texas. We'll talk about it when we come back. Mississippi State and Texas coming up. More Talkin Dawgs coming up here on SuperTalk 100.9.
When you're a Yellow Jacket, school spirit isn't just for game day, it's every day. That's why the Citizens Bank created the School Stash debit card for Starkville-Octibaha schools. With every transaction, select credit instead of debit, and we'll donate 5 cents to the district. It's an easy way to show your pride and support local schools with every purchase. Stop by 201 Highway 12 and get your School Stash debit card today. The Citizens Bank, in your corner every day. Member FDIC.
Now's the time to get a great deal on proven Kubota farming equipment. Tractors that can do it all and do it right. Hay tools that are backed by a 2-year warranty. And durable Sidekick utility vehicles and SSV skid steers. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 5.49% APR for up to 84 months plus instant cash discount and 2 years extended limited warranty. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Fort County Electric Power Association has spent more than 85 years working to improve the quality of life of all we touch. And that's why we created the Fort County Foundation. Thanks to the generosity of Fort County member owners, the foundation has awarded more than $2.5 million to organizations that support the communities we serve. If you have a 501c3 organization that helps improve the lives of Fort County members, visit fortcounty.org and see if the Fort County Foundation can help you.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
Find a friend in the banking business at Bank Oklahoma and take that friend with you using Bank Oklahoma mobile banking. Manage your accounts, make deposits, payments, and transfers anywhere and anytime. Bank Oklahoma offers small town feel with big city convenience and the personalized attention you deserve. I'm Joy Faulkner at Bank Oklahoma. Better together, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9 and SuperTalk.fm. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday morning so far. It's been a little rainy last few days here in the Golden Triangle. A lot of rain on Tuesday, and hopefully it won't impact the game and the crowd at all on Saturday as Mississippi State takes on Texas. Before we get into that Texas game, I want to remind you guys to go down to Mathiston, Mississippi, down Highway 82. When you come to the four-way stop, you take a left, go into Mathiston, and you will see an iconic fixture of Mathiston, Mississippi, right there across from the post office, right by the railroad tracks, Mathiston Hardware and Building Supply. This place dates back to, I'm going to say, the early 1930s, 1940s in Mathiston. When my great-grandfather and his sons took over this store, they brought a store that had been such a pillar of their small little community of Sherwood, Mississippi in the early 1900s, and they brought it into the big booming town of Mathiston, Mississippi. And in this building, Mathiston Hardware, what was once N.S. Ellis & Son, people from all around the area, from Winona, from Starkville, Columbus, they came down here for their building supplies because of what they felt when they walked into that store. The warmth and the love that they felt when they walked in, the community that they felt, but also the prices that they got at that store. They were competitive with everywhere else around the area, and that's why you came to N.S. Ellis & Son and then Oswalt's Building Supply. Well, now Brad Huffman and Ted Dewitt are doing the same thing with Mathiston Hardware and Building Supply, and you've got to go check them out today. They got all your needs right there in that one building. They've expanded the building out for more supplies for every project that you can imagine. Valspar paint, Milwaukee tools. They have the building supplies that you need as well. The wood that you need to build your house. They'll deliver this to your project as well. So you got to go check them out today at Mathiston Hardware. You can call them at 662-263-4583 or just go visit them. You got to see this building over at 281 Scott Avenue in Mathiston. Go check them out today. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Saturday, 7 to 12 p.m. Close on Sunday, but they're open 6 days a week, so go check them out today. Thank you guys at Mathiston Hardware and Building Supply for your support. The Bulldogs are 4-3 and 0-3 in the league. I think most State fans preseason would have been okay with this start. Not knowing anything else about how this is happening, you look at the scores. If I just showed you the scores, and Mississippi State's 4-0 with a win over a top 25 Arizona State team that's still hanging around. They got a huge win over Texas Tech last week. You have that win in your pocket. You lost in overtime to a pretty good Tennessee team. I think people would have stepped up for that. 31-9 against A&M. I think people would have been wondering how that happened, but it's a road game against a top 10 team. And then you have a 2-point loss to Florida, which a lot of people predicted as a loss preseason. Everybody would have been on board with this. But the frustrations, and it's come from Jeff Lebby as well, the frustrations is how Mississippi State has lost these games. The defense has been infinitely better than anybody imagined it would be. And look, it still doesn't look perfect. When you watch it, it looks like Mississippi State has some issues on the defensive side at times, and they look like they're not quite as talented as the other team, and they're giving up a big play here and there, or they're giving up a few first downs. But they just get the job done. They're keeping the team out of the end zone more often than not. They're getting stops. They're forcing turnovers when it looks like the other team's driving down the field and have a chance to score. This defense is playing extremely hard, extremely tough, and they're getting Mississippi State off the field and giving the offense chances. It's State's offense right now that's holding them back. And the last play being what it was, I disagree vehemently with Jeff Lebby that was the right call. I don't think that they should have been passing the football in that situation. I don't think they should have called a timeout, but I don't know. I wasn't at the game to ask the question post-game why that timeout was called. But I don't understand why they're throwing the football there. I've had people say they're trying to get better field position. Totally get that. The risk is far greater than the reward in that situation, I think, especially with Blake Shapen, who has taken sacks more often than more people. He has a tendency to look down his wide receivers. In that situation, I just don't think it makes sense for Mississippi State to pass the football. With that said, I thought Jeff Lebby called a great game. The plays were there for the taking. I don't think anybody can argue with that. When you look at the situations, Blake Shapen had his best game from a statistical standpoint probably this year, 24 of 36 for 324, but he didn't have the touchdowns, and he threw the interception. He had at least 3 touchdowns there if he connects on a deep ball, and a couple more that probably could have been touchdowns if there were just great diving plays by Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans. There was so much more out there. Anthony Evans had 11 catches for 107 yards. Probably could have had a lot more. Brennan Thompson probably could have had 200 yards receiving and 10 catches. And this game looks drastically different. The plays were there. Mississippi State had a chance to throw for well over 400 yards against this Florida defense. Blake Shapen's numbers were better than DJ Lagway. Lagway with 280 on 20 of 34 passing, 2 interceptions. 4 more sacks for Blake Shapen, threw an interception. Shapen's not playing well. That's just the bottom line. And I'm not blaming everything on him. I think there's, Xavier Gayton fumbled the football inside the red zone. Kamario Taylor made a couple of reads that, if he hands the ball off, there's a big play there for the taking for Mississippi State. He scored a touchdown, but there's a couple of plays there for him. Mississippi State as a team right now is not making the winning plays, and that is the challenge this week against Texas. And this is a Texas team that is very fragile right now. I don't really know what's going on, but I don't know if it's a situation where they just have some new faces out there with the transfer portal, and they're just having a tough time meshing. Arch Manning has not been great to this point. Their defense has been really good, I think. Gave up 6 points against Oklahoma. They gave up just 14 against Ohio State. This defense is the strength of this team. But Texas has not been overly impressive. They barely got out of Kentucky alive on Saturday night. Now, this will be the game that they get right, now that I've said that. But to this point, with all this hype around Arch Manning, and he's got 5 interceptions in 7 games, and he's looked disjointed at times. He's got under 1,500 yards, just averaging just over 200 yards a game passing. There's something that's not quite right with this Texas team. Mississippi State has got to find a way to win this game. And I said that last week, too, with Florida. You know, Texas A&M was one of those where, you know, whatever happened, happened. I never felt great about that game. Tennessee, I felt like State had something there for the taking. Florida, same way. And I feel the same way this week with Texas. You're coming into a road environment. They haven't played great on the road. Arch Manning is not been great either. The Bulldogs have an opportunity here to go seize a ball game, and they have got to get over the hump. Jeff Lebby is 0-11 in SEC play. State's lost 15 straight SEC games. At some point, no matter what kind of improvement you've made as a team, at some point Jeff Lebby has got to win. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is wins and losses. And that's what you're judged by. And if you're not winning enough games, you're not going to be here. And Jeff Lebby has made incredible progress, but he's not winning the games that he needs to win. This weekend feels like a must-win. The Bulldogs go to Arkansas next week. That's not going to be an easy game. That's a team that can score points. Bobby Petrino is trying to get that job. That's not going to be an easy game on the road. You got Georgia coming to town. You got to go to Missouri. Your chances of getting a bowl game are starting to drop with every passing week. Now, you win this week, and I still think they're going to find a way to get to a bowl game. But that opportunity is getting less and less with each passing week. So the Bulldogs have got to go out this week and grab it. It really feels like this game is pivotal for Jeff Lebby to continue to keep this fan base intact, to keep people giving to NIL, to keep the team on board. This game's huge because State really needs to get to 6 wins this year, and it's going to be tough to do it if you don't win this week. So that's the challenge ahead. 3:15 on Saturday at Davis Wade Stadium. You're back after 3 weeks away from home. So on the SEC Network, I don't know what to expect from a crowd perspective. I don't know if Texas is going to bring a big crowd or not. But it's a huge game for Mississippi State. So we'll see how it plays out. All right, guys, when we come back, high school sports coming your way. Some high school football to talk about around the Starkville Daily News area. A lot to talk about when we get back. This is Talkin Dawgs, Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Bank Oklahoma is committed to the communities we serve. We offer the small town feel with big city convenience and give you the personalized attention you deserve. Come see me, Gene Childs, Community Bank President in Houston and Manatee. We have locations in Aberdeen, Bruce, Houston, Manatee, Oklahoma, and Tupelo. Bank Oklahoma, where we are better together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Landowners, are you ready to turn your timber into real value? At Good Hope Land and Timber, we specialize in helping landowners like you make smart, sustainable decisions. Whether you're planting a final harvest, thinning a stand, development thinning, or managing your forest long-term, our experienced team is here to guide you every step of the way. We're trained in the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and follow best management practices to protect your land and maximize your return. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need equipment that's built to deliver. That's why H&R AgriPower in Columbus, Mississippi is proud to announce we now carry Kubota hay tools and the powerful M7 series tractors. From cutting and baling to hauling and harvesting, Kubota's hay and forage lineup delivers unmatched performance and reliability in the field. Come see us today at H&R AgriPower, your new Kubota hay tools and M7 series tractor dealer, right here in Columbus at 841 South Frontage Road. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Hello, I'm Lee Burrell, proudly serving Tibahaw County. The Citizens Bank has been serving our community for over 116 years, and I'm proud to be part of this vital community bank. With over 22 years of financial experience in commercial, mortgage, and consumer lending, I'm here to help with all your loan and deposit needs. Call me at 662-323-1420 or stop by my office located at 201 Highway 12 and say hello. I'm looking forward to meeting and talking with you soon. The Citizens Bank, www.thecitizensvilla.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9, SuperTalk.fm, the SuperTalk app, and anywhere you get podcasts. Appreciate you guys once again for stopping in and having a chat with me today. Last week, big week in high school football once again around the state of Mississippi, and some more excitement happening. I was at Starkville for Starkville and Clinton in a game that I could only describe as very strange. I don't really know how to explain how this one played out other than, Starkville was opportunistic and Clinton was not. And this was an interesting game coming in. Starkville had won 3 straight games. They were playing good football. They went into the bye week. When they come out of the bye week, it was a different-looking team against Germantown. The offense was there. The defense was not. And Germantown wins 42-28 over in Gluckstadt. Germantown ends up losing to Oxford on Friday night in a overtime thriller over there in Oxford between those two teams in a game that might decide the division. We'll see how it plays out. But this was a big one too. Clinton has a lot of momentum coming in. They've played extremely hard this year under new head coach, former defensive coordinator Hammer Morgan, and have played some good football. They've lost to some good teams. Only 2 losses coming into that ball game. They have some really young guys on this offensive side of the ball. Just about everybody that they were running the other night were sophomores. Most of the receivers are sophomores or juniors. The quarterback, Jaden Jones, looks like a really good athlete, big physical kid. He made some plays on Friday night. But the difference in the ball game was what Clinton failed to do inside the red zone. Or I guess what you could say Starkville did defensively inside the red zone. It was incredible. Clinton made 6 trips inside the red zone. They scored once. They scored a touchdown on 4th and goal. Threw a touchdown, I think, at the 4th quarter to cut the ball game to, I think it was at that time, 2 touchdowns. Starkville didn't have much of an offense in this. They never really got in a rhythm. Kingston Johnson was 12 of 27 for 115. Just was okay. A touchdown and interception, and they weren't able to establish much of a running game. Torian Knox had a good game when he got the ball, 12 carries for 87 yards, but he hardly touched the ball until the 4th quarter. And a lot of it was just the amount of time that Clinton had the ball. They held the ball for over 10 minutes more than what Starkville had it in this game. And Jaden Jones, 15 of 38 for 199 yards, but he threw 3 interceptions in this game. And some key interceptions, too. And one of them was a pick 6. They had 2 field goals blocked. One of them was returned back for a touchdown. Starkville just took advantage, and that's a tough place to play. Starkville has always had some kind of voodoo on teams at home. They just find ways to win. And that's what happened again in this one. They did it against Oak Grove earlier this year in a wild one at home. But at home so far this year, this Starkville team is undefeated. They've won some big ones. Oak Grove, Louisville, and now Clinton. They have 2 more now coming up. They play Murrah this Friday. You can watch that game on the Starkville live stream. Jay Perry and Steve Roberts will be doing that ball game on the live stream. I think you can also listen to it on 100.9 on the radio as well. I was on the live stream this past week doing that, and I'll be doing, I believe, the Madison Central game as well that's coming up the next week. These next 2 weeks are huge. You win these next 2 games if you're Starkville, you have a very good shot of playing for a district championship against Oxford. Now, you're going to have to get some help probably from Germantown. But, we'll see what happens with Germantown. That's a team that has just always found a way to lose these big games. They've been on the verge a couple of times. This team looks as good as they've had. But they got Madison Central and Clinton, too. That Clinton game on the road is one to watch for me. Going to Clinton, because Clinton's got the defense to hold that one under 20 points or so. But if Germantown loses another game and Starkville beats Murray and Madison Central, that Oxford game should be for a district title. We'll see what Oxford does against Clinton, but Oxford playing like a major contender. Knox Kiffin now looks to be emerging as the guy for Oxford. Still young, but he's moved right in there as a big fixture for them. So that's something to watch. Region 2 is going to be really interesting. West Point was back in district action, taking on Lafayette last week, 41-6. The first 2 district games have been 50-13 and 41-6 for West Point. And I'm going to imagine the rest of the district schedule is going to be similar. I think that New Hope game has a chance to be a good game. But Caledonia this week, who has really struggled, and then Columbus to close out the regular season. This West Point team is going to be tough for 5A to contend with them. 7-0 at this point. They have a chance to go undefeated. I truly believe that. That's a team that's just a runaway train right now. So watch out for the Green Wave. Another game in our Starkville Daily News area that I was really interested in last week was Choctaw County and Noxubee County. That game for the first time in the last few years is a district game as Noxubee moves into Choctaw's district in Region 4. Choctaw had won the first 2 games handily against Nettleton and Aberdeen. Noxubee lost to Winona the week prior. So this was a very interesting game between 2 teams that I think should be major contenders for a state championship. And it was a replay of the state title game last year in Hattiesburg. Choctaw County won that ball game. This was a defensive battle. I was not expecting this. I thought the defenses would perform well, but I was not expecting what transpired. Noxubee wins 8-7, and on their touchdown, I believe they had a bobbled snap on the hold. They pick it up, and they throw the 2-point conversion. That was the game-winning play. Noxubee County pretty much wins the game on a 2-point conversion on a bobbled snap. I believe that's right. I could be wrong. I wasn't at this game. But that's just a huge win for Noxubee and a very tough loss for Choctaw, who was, they win this game and they're playing for district championship this week against Winona. But instead, now it looks like, probably going to be competing for second place here with Winona on Friday night. And if they lose to Winona, Winona's the district champs. And Noxubee will be the number 2 seed. Choctaw County will be the 3, I believe. This district is going to be so brutal to contend with. The top 3 teams, I think, all have the ability to play for the North. Winona, not as dominant as they have been, but this is a team that's back to playing pretty good football. They got a big win over Noxubee on the road 2 weeks ago. But this is going to be a big, big game for Choctaw County this week. Another huge game in our area, East Webster, who is 7-1. I saw them play last week against Holly Springs. They were stepping out of district play, and that was kind of a throwaway game. I'm being nice, but 48-0, the game was over in the first quarter. But now they have a chance here tonight to essentially win the district against Velma Jackson. Or not tonight, Friday night, my bad. I will be at that ball game. That's a huge game for both of these teams. Velma Jackson lost to Kemper County a couple of weeks ago, so we could still see a 3-way tie here for the district title, but East Webster can put it away here with a win if they can win this game on Friday. 4-4 Velma Jackson just a couple of years ago, playing for a state championship in 1A. still very talented. And last week they beat Philadelphia 8-6. That's a huge game for East Webster coming up on Friday. Starkville Academy is 6-2 after a huge win over Lamar School last week, 28-20. That's a really good Lamar School team, by the way. Coach Land over there at Lamar doing a great job, but huge win for Chase Nicholson and company in what is a brutal close to the season. They had Magnolia Heights, Lamar, Heritage, and Hartfield in a 4-game stretch here to close out the season as they're trying to get to the playoffs. So they got Heritage coming up in a huge district game against one of their biggest rivals on Friday night, and then close out with Hartfield. One win out of those two, I think, will put them in great shape for the playoffs. They're in the playoffs, but they'll have a good seed if they can beat Heritage, especially. Former Mississippi State Bulldog, Tobias Smith, coaching the Heritage Academy Patriots. That should be a fun one coming up. All right, guys, we're going to send this one to one more break. When we get back, we'll close this thing down. Have another great show here on this Wednesday, and hope you guys will stay tuned for more when we get back from the break. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Looking to complete those tough jobs and don't have the right equipment? Let H&R AgriPower in Columbus help you out. We now offer Kubota's mini excavators, track loaders, and L-Series tractors available for rent. You can also rent attachments like our cutter heads, grapples, post hole diggers, and more. Give H&R AgriPower a call for daily, weekly, and monthly rental rates. Stop by your hometown dealer today. Visit us at our new location, located at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus.
Power up your convenience with the 4-County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4-County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Looking to get the most out of your land? Trust the experts at Good Hope Land and Timber, your full-service land and timber company with years of experience in forestry and land management. From land and timber purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting, our team handles it all, safely, efficiently, and sustainably. Our experienced logging force is trained to the highest standards under the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Well, welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9, SuperTalk.fm, the SuperTalk app. Thank you for spending the last hour with me here on this show. And if you missed any of the show, you can go check out Talkin Dawgs anywhere you get your podcast. You can fast forward through the commercials if you want to. You can listen to this thing in full. It'll be put up right after the show concludes on your podcast app. Just go follow the show on there, subscribe to it, whatever you need to do, wherever you get your podcasts, and it will be delivered straight to your phone each and every week. I also want to remind you to go download Thunder and Lightning, the podcast with myself and Brian Haydad. It airs Monday through Friday, anywhere you get podcasts as well. Brian also has the Thunder and Lightning Live that comes to you across the state of Mississippi on the radio, on SuperTalk. And he will be on there at 6 p.m. tonight, and every Wednesday you can catch him there. But on our Thunder and Lightning podcast, we'll bring you all things Mississippi State Monday through Friday. I have on there right now a interview, long-form, in-depth interview with my good friend Michael Hardy. You know him as Hardy, the country music superstar, singer-songwriter, just a all-around great guy. Michael and myself were on the same drum line at East Central Community College about 16 years ago and got to know each other. And, as I say in the interview, I never would have expected that Michael would become Hardy and become the type of artist that he is now, which is one of the biggest artists in country music today, and just a lyrical genius, one of the best songwriters in the country, and a guy that I am glad to call my friend. He gave me about an hour of his time. I had an incredible chat with him. You can go check that out on the Thunder and Lightning podcast feed right now. We have that as a standalone there, or you can go check it out on my YouTube page. I have the YouTube video for that for you guys. All right, so a big weekend once again for those coming into town. If you can, get to the stadium, folks. Continue to support the team. I really feel like Mississippi State is so close. And that's what's really frustrating about this is they haven't been able to get over that hump yet. And this would be an incredible week to do it. Not sure what the ticket situation is. I know that there's plenty still available. I know a lot of people have talked about just being frustrated with last week, but this is a chance to beat a team that I believe to be vulnerable. I know they're super talented. They're well coached. But I think that this game is winnable for Mississippi State on Saturday at 3:15. Texas is a team that Mississippi State can beat. Kentucky should have beat them last week. Mississippi State can beat them. But will they is the big question. Mississippi State can beat Tennessee. They can beat Florida. I think they can beat Texas A&M if they're playing their best. They haven't played their best in those games. And even without playing their best, they had a chance to win those games. They didn't make the winning plays. This is a game where Mississippi State has got to make those winning plays. You got Arkansas coming up next week before closing out with Georgia at home, at Missouri, and against Ole Miss. You have the potential of playing 3 consecutive top 10 teams. At the very least, 3 consecutive top 15 teams to close out the regular season. This last stretch of the games is going to be tougher than at any point this year. So these two right here against Texas and Arkansas are massive for Mississippi State. You get 2 wins here, you're playing with house money over the last part of the schedule. But State's got to go take it. And that's basically what they're fighting right now. This team is finding a way to go win those games. And that's what Jeff Lebby's preaching to his team, to go execute those plays. Blake Shapen's got to be better. His running backs have got to be better. His receivers, his offensive line, they've all got to be better. Defense has got to even play better than they are right now, which has been really good to this point. So we'll see if it happens. Before we get out of here, I want to remind you guys to go check out Alpha Insurance, Jess Brantley, for all your insurance needs. Get that bundle, homeowners, car insurance. Get that bundle there. They'll set you up with a life insurance policy as well, and they will be there whenever you need them. Jess Brantley over in West Point at 36 South 4th Street. You can call them at 662-494-4142 and start saving with them today. And also, don't forget about Matheson Hardware for all your building needs, all your projects. You can get everything you need right there at Matheson Hardware on Scott Avenue in Matheson. Call them today at 662-263-4583. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys for checking in for another great week of Talkin Dawgs. Robbie Faulk here on Super Talk. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you down the road.
You've been listening to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk.
Mississippi State with a victory here.
Listen each Wednesday at 9 a.m. on Super Talk 100.9.
Don't you know I'm gonna make it with my friends? I promised myself I'd get by. Said I'm gonna try it with them too.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.